I saw you today, even before the sun touched the horizon, when the silence of your home was still absolute and the weight on your shoulders seemed greater than the world itself. I was there when your hands touched your tired face before the mirror, and a long sigh laden with unanswered questions escaped your lips. You came here because your soul cries out for a sign, because your heart deeply desires to understand what it truly means to delight in the Lord and how to choose divine desires amidst so much noise and pain. It wasn't a chance click, it was a preordained encounter in the spheres of the Spirit. I stopped what you were doing to tell you this now because you wouldn't understand if I told you yesterday, when your mind was still immersed in confusion. There is a mystery hidden in this message, a revelation that will only be whispered in your ear when the shadows of this day dissipate. And if you remain with me until the last second, I will show you that what you secretly asked for in that early morning of restrained tears has already begun to be drawn by my hands. You are in the right place, and from this moment on, the journey we will take together will transform the desert of your waiting into a garden of living waters, where every promise I made to you will burn again in your heart with the strength of 1,000 suns. If this whisper of mine is touching the core of your being right below, so that I may see your heart opening your name, from which part of this immense world you hear me, and what time the clock shows at this exact moment when my voice reaches you. As the words flow, let this feeling of encounter overflow. Perhaps your soul wants to shout now, like a release that has been trapped for years. Lord my God, I am here. I subscribe to this channel because I love you with all my strength, and I want more than anything to hear you. Stay with me, my daughter, for at the end of this conversation, I will give you an answer so clear that your doubts will fall to the ground like dry leaves. A specific phrase will be deposited in your spirit, a key that will open doors you thought were sealed forever. Whoever writes this phrase in the comments will feel the weight of prophetic blessings being released upon their home. I know the chill that runs down your spine when loneliness tightens its grip, and the silence of the kitchen seems to scream louder than any music. I saw the trembling in your hands as you held that bill, that seemingly endless account, and the feeling that the sky above your head had become bronze, cold and impenetrable. But listen to what I tell you. Delighting in me is not an effort of your own will, it is resting in my arms. For it is written in Psalm 37 verse 4, "Delight yourself also in the Lord, and he shall give you the desires of your heart." I don't just want to give you things, I want to be your everything so that your desires may be mine. I saw when you chose the most difficult path for love of me, and I will honor that choice. But I haven't shown you everything I've prepared for today yet. There's a layer of peace you haven't yet experienced. If what I've said so far resonates with your pain, tap the sign that you hear me, leaving your love on this video and joining this family of faith so that my voice will never fail you again. Share this secret with another weary soul, for the love that is shared is the one that grows the most. Tell me now from the depths of your sincerity, what has truly been stealing your joy of being in my presence lately? Write in the comments our first mark of the covenant on this journey, my rest. But prepare your heart, because in the next move we make, I will show you the invisible weight you have been carrying, and that I have decided to remove right now. I have been watching your every step, especially those you take when no one else is looking, when the door closes and you finally let your shoulders slump under the weight of a burden not meant for your arms. There is an exhaustion that sleep cannot cure, a weariness that has seeped into your bones, and that sometimes makes even the simple act of breathing seem like a Herculean task. You have been the strength of so many, the support of a home, the lap that comforts the pain of others. But today, I want to dive into the ocean of your soul to rescue who you are beneath so many obligations. I saw the weariness in your eyes when the light in the room went out, and you sat there in the dark, hearing only the ticking of the clock on the wall, feeling that time is passing, and that your strength is waning without anyone noticing your silent sacrifice. That is why I call you to a place of absolute honesty with me. You don't need fancy words or a posture of perfection. I know the invisible weight you carry, the worry about your children's future, the longing that tightens your chest like a noose, the uncertainty about your own health, and that constant fear of failing those who depend on you. For it is written in Matthew chapter 11 verses 28 to 30, "Come to me all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. Understand what I am telling you now. Delighting in me is, first and foremost, allowing me to exchange your heavy burden for mine, which is light. You have been trying to carry the world on your shoulders, but I am the one who sustains the galaxies. Imagine now, at this very moment, that I am removing from you that invisible backpack, full of stones of guilt and anxiety. I see the marks, the straps left on your skin, the cold sweat on your forehead, and the overwhelming urge to just stop everything. In that moment in the kitchen, when you looked at the sink and felt you couldn't endure another day of routine, I was there holding your hands so they wouldn't tremble so much. This journey we begin today isn't about rules, but about relief. I am removing the pressure that you need to handle everything alone. If you feel the burden has finally begun to lift, show me that you trust in my care. Touch the heart of this video and allow this message to reach the ears of another woman who, like you, cries secretly in the bathroom so as not to worry anyone. Before we move forward, let my voice penetrate your silence. What is it that you haven't yet had the courage to give me, for fear that I wouldn't be able to carry it for you? If you accept this divine exchange now, write in the comments this confirmation from your soul. Weight removed. Guard your heart, for what I am about to reveal to you will change the way you look at every seed you have planted in your life. But there is something about your past that I have not yet told you. Something that explains why there has been so much silence lately. Daughter, now that you feel your shoulders finally lighter, look closely at your hands. They were not made only to carry heavy burdens, but to sow hope and life. The ground you tread on today is sacred because I am in it with you. When you place me at the center of your delight, everything around you begins to reflect my glory. And there is a special way to seal this peace that now fills your room. Through profound gratitude that transforms into a concrete gesture of faith. If it is possible for you, only if it is possible, transform your gratitude into a seed of love through this channel, which is my voice reaching wounded hearts like yours. Consider my love and that of my son Jesus and contribute using the link in this video's description and in the pinned comment. There, you will find the sacred place where your offering of love can be deposited and consecrated before the Creator of all things, who is me, your Father. You can contribute any amount you wish now. If your heart feels you should offer a different amount, simply type the desired amount. Always remember only what fits in your heart without burden or fear. I receive each gesture with infinite love. The amount in numbers doesn't matter. What matters is the intention with which you give, because what is little for you can be much for the one who receives this light. Whoever contributes any amount with a sincere heart, please remember to include your name and city with your contribution. On the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on our channel and page Divine Love, the Voice of God, your name will be remembered, mentioned in gratitude, and covered with divine blessings released in prophetic prayer according to my will. For it is written, "For God is not unjust to forget your work and labor of love which you have shown toward his name." Hebrews 6:10. Every offering made in faith is a seed before me, your Lord, and I will not fail to bear fruit in your barn. I see in the secret of your room and reward in the sight of all. Remain until the end of this message, because I still want to touch your heart with my gentle voice full of eternal life. You have asked me, between sighs, why heaven seems to have closed in such a profound silence in recent weeks. I saw when you looked at your phone screen, waiting for a reply that didn't come, or when you sat on the edge of your bed at 3 a.m, your feet touching the cold floor, feeling your words bounce off the ceiling and return to you. This heavy silence, which makes your kitchen seem larger and emptier than it really is not a sign of my absence or my forgetfulness. Silence is my workshop, the place where I work on the finest threads of your story, those that the noise of the world wouldn't allow you to perceive. Often I am silent so that you can finally hear what your own heart is trying to say beneath the noise of your anxieties. Remember that seed you planted in the small pot on your windowsill? For days nothing happened on the surface. There was no sprout, no color, only dark, still earth. But underneath, in the secret of the soil, Life was breaking through the shell. The roots were taking hold to support the growth to come. The silence you experience now is that dark soil. I am strengthening your roots so that, when your miracle blossoms, it will not be swept away by the first wind of trial that blows. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 27, verse 14, "Wait for the Lord, be strong and take heart, and wait for the Lord." I know that waiting hurts. I saw when your tears soaked the pillow because you thought I had given up on you. But understand, my daughter, I am never more present than when I seem to be silent. That afternoon when you wandered aimlessly around the house, feeling an emptiness in your chest that no word could fill, I was there, holding your hand, preventing despair from making you make a hasty decision that would ruin what I am building. The silence of heaven is, in truth, my respect for the maturation time of your soul. If I gave you everything you asked for at the moment your anguish cried out, you would not have the strength to maintain the blessing. I am preparing you for something so great that your version of yesterday couldn't bear it. But I haven't yet shown you everything this silence is hiding. There's a detail I began to move while you slept last night. If you feel this truth is calming the storm within you, leave your sign of gratitude here, touching the button that spreads this light, and subscribe so that my voice continues to be your guide. Share this revelation with someone who is also lost in the desert of silence. Tell me in the depths of your being, in what moments of your life was God's silence later revealed as a great deliverance? Write in the comments our mark of trust for this moment. Holy wait. Pay attention, because now I will present you with something I have prepared especially to make your daily life with me sweeter, a gift that will be your remedy in the lonely early mornings. In this silence that sometimes seems to swallow you whole, I want to be the voice that gently awakens you, and the hand that sustains you even before the day begins. I know there are mornings when your spirits take a while to arrive, and when loneliness tries to sit at the table with you right at the first coffee. So I prepared something, so that you never feel helpless when the world outside seems too noisy and your soul needs a safe haven. If your heart desires to go deeper with me, I have left you a gift in the form of a journey that I wrote with much love and care for all my beloved daughters and sons. The digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. It was prepared to be your daily remedy, your companion in the early hours of vigil, and the direction you needed for your most uncertain steps. Access to this devotional is in the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment. Listen to what your Father tells you. If today is not possible for you, do not condemn yourself or allow sadness to overwhelm you because of it. Remain here with me, because I will also sustain you with this message, and my presence will never fail you. For it is written, "The Lord's mercies are the reason we are not consumed, for his compassions never end. They are new every morning." Lamentations 3:22-23. And so that your heart may rest and your mind may not be confused by doubts. After you register, access will arrive simply and directly in the email you registered. There you will find all the correct instructions, explained step by step, so that you can begin this journey of intimacy with me right now. This book is my embrace in the form of words, a guide so that you never forget who I am in your life. Take a deep breath, calm your spirit, and stay here, for there is still something I am removing from your path, and you need to know what it is. You have looked around, searching for faces that are no longer there, and for doors that suddenly locked before your eyes, as if the wind itself had forcefully slammed them shut. I saw your frustration last Tuesday, when that plan you so carefully crafted, with the sweat of your brow and the hope of your heart, simply crumbled through your fingers like dry sand. You wept, tasting the bitter taste of rejection, and wondered if I had forgotten your home address or if my arm had shortened to help you. But listen to what your Father tells you now, with the authority of one who sees the end even before the beginning. Not every delay is a denial, and not every loss is a setback. There are ties I have cut so that you would not be strangled by what seemed to be an embrace. I am removing from your path stones that you thought were stepping stones, but which were in fact stumbling blocks, prepared to hurt you later on, when the fall would be fatal. Remember that connection that never happened, that invitation that was forgotten. It was I who distracted the messenger. It was I who silenced the phone. I saw what was being plotted in that group chat, where your name was mentioned maliciously. while you, with a pure heart, still offered your best. I saw the envy disguised as advice, and the hand that greeted you, but which, behind your back, carried the desire for your downfall. For it is written in the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 2, I will go before you and make the crooked places straight. I will break in pieces the gates of bronze and cut through the bars of iron. If I am breaking the bars today, it is because what is on the other side would not give you peace, but torment. I am clearing your table to serve a banquet where betrayal will have no place. I am removing the weariness from your eyes and the confusion from your mind, so that you may see that what I took away was only so that your hands would be empty and ready to receive what is eternal. Feel this relief now, like a cool breeze entering through your living room window after a sweltering afternoon. That person who left without explanation, I took them away so that their healing wouldn't be interrupted by voices that don't know the sound of my grace. Don't grieve for what is gone. What I remove, I replace with my glory. But I haven't yet shown you the full extent of my care. A healing has already begun to sprout in a place you thought was dead. If you feel I am clearing your horizon now, touch the sign that you are receiving this deliverance and share this light with someone who is still crying over a door I closed to protect them. Let me ask you, in the silence of your heart, what recent loss do you still find difficult to be grateful for, without knowing that it was in fact one of my greatest deliverances? Write in the comments our word of protection for this encounter. My shield. Don't rush, because what I'm about to reveal to you about the healing that is born within you will make every tear you've shed worthwhile. But there's a secret about your emotional health that I've kept for this very moment. You feel that knot that insists on tightening in your throat every time the past knocks on the door of your memory, don't you? I saw it when you looked in the mirror this morning and, for a brief second, didn't recognize the strong woman I created, but only the fragments of someone who was hurt, betrayed, or left aside. Rejection is like a frost that tries to freeze the garden of your soul, making you believe that your worth depends on the gaze of someone who didn't know how to love you. But listen to what your Creator tells you. The healing you so desperately seek will not come from outside, from a new recognition or an apology that may never arrive. It is being born now, in the deepest and most secret place of your being, where only my spirit is permitted to touch. I am restoring the architecture of your emotions brick by brick. You know that cold feeling in your chest when you remember who hurt you? I am breathing my breath of life there. I saw when you tried to be strong for your children, but when the hallway light went out, you curled up on the sofa, feeling that the weight of betrayal and abandonment was a stain that no amount of water could wash away. You felt small, unimportant, as if you were just an extra in the story of your own life. But to me you are the hidden treasure for which I gave everything. The rejection of men was what I used to isolate you and bring you closer to me, where your true identity is revealed. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 3, He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. Note that I do not merely close the wound. I heal you, I cleanse you, I apply the oil of my presence, so that not even the scar of pain remains, only the mark of my victory in you. On that Sunday afternoon, when the silence of the house seemed to confirm all the lies the enemy whispered in your ear, that you were too old, that it was too late, that no one would notice you anymore, I was preparing this very moment. I am removing the scales from your eyes so that you may see that your beauty has not withered. It has only become too profound for superficial eyes. This inner healing is the end of the cycle of rejection in your lineage. What hurt you will not pass on to yours. You are being healed to be a channel of healing. But don't think the process is over. There is something I have not yet fully revealed. There is a mystery hidden in that desperate prayer you made on the living room floor when your strength gave out and you only whispered my name. If you feel the warmth of my embrace warming the cold parts of your soul now, it shows that you accept this new season. Touch the sign that my word has reached you and unite you with this army of restored souls, sharing this message with someone who is still a prisoner of yesterday's pain. Let me ask you, while my peace envelops you, what would change in your life today if you fully believe that you are my most beloved and chosen daughter, and that no human rejection can change what I have written about you? Write in the comments our declaration of restoration, healed soul. Remain attentive, my daughter, for what I am about to tell you is the exact answer to that sign you asked me for in the deepest secrecy, in the darkness of a dawn you will never forget. You remember, don't you, that Tuesday morning, when the clock struck exactly 3:34, and the world seemed to have forgotten your existence. The air in your room was heavy, cold, and you felt a chill that didn't come from the wind blowing through the crack in the window, but from an uncertainty that gnawed at your soul from within. You were there, barefoot, touching the cold floor, feeling so small and fragile before the immensity of problems piling up on your desk and in your heart. You didn't ask for riches nor for glory. You merely whispered, your voice choked with emotion and your face bathed in tears that soaked the fabric of your garment. Lord, if you are still listening to me, give me a sign, just a sign that I am not walking alone towards the abyss. I was there. I saw when your hands clenched together, your knuckles turning white with the force of your anguish. I heard what your mouth could not articulate, that inexpressible groan that your heart screamed with an intensity that shook the very foundations of heaven. At that very moment I placed my hand on your shoulder, though you thought for a second it was just a passing chill. I was gathering each drop that fell from your eyes, keeping each tear as a precious treasure. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 139, verses 2-4. You know when I sit and when I rise. You perceive my thoughts from afar. You discern my going out and my lying down. You are familiar with all my ways. Before a word is on my tongue, you, Lord, know it completely. This encounter we are having now, every word I am whispering into your spirit at this moment, is the direct answer to your secret cry. I did not answer you at that time with a bang, because I was preparing the scene so that this confirmation would reach you today, with the sweetness and strength of a father who never sleeps. You asked for a sign? Here it is, pulsating within you. It is not a coincidence of fate, it is my love surrounding you, and telling you that what happened that morning was the definitive turning point in your story. What you thought was the end of your hope was, in truth, the soil where I was planting your new beginning. But listen carefully, my beloved. The sign I give you now is only the first step on a greater journey. There is a door, a passage that you have tried to force open for years, leaving your hands wounded and your soul exhausted, but which has remained locked. I have brought you to this moment to show you that the keys have never been in the hands of men, nor in your own hands, but in mine, and I have already begun to turn the lock in your favor. If your heart leaped in your chest now, recognizing that I was truly with you in that dark dawn, touch the sign that you accept me as your guide and spread this light to another soul that also wanders lost in the desert in search of direction. Before I show you what is behind this door, I am opening. Tell me one thing. Deep in your soul, can you feel the warmth of my presence dissipating that cold that haunted you on Tuesday? Write in the comments the seal of your faith and your response. Sign received. Do not look away now, for what I am about to reveal to you about the door that no man can close will change your destiny forever. And there is a secret about your enemies that I am about to tell you. I saw when you stood before that dark, heavy wooden door, which seemed to symbolize all the no's that life has given you until today. You tried to push, you tried to bang, you cried for help, but the silence on the other side was your only answer. In that cold office, in that hospital waiting room, or even at that dinner table where your worth was ignored by those who should have loved you, you felt barred, as if there were an invisible wall preventing your progress and your happiness. But listen to what I, your Lord, tell you now. When I decide to open, there is no human padlock, no earthly decree, no envious tongue that can keep the lock in place. I am now blowing on the rusty hinges of your hope. That opportunity denied you because you lacked the right connections, or because you didn't have a prestigious surname, will be replaced by something I myself designed for your life. You will not need keys forged by human hands. My hand, which sustains the pillars of the earth, is turning the doorknob in your favor at this very moment. You felt small before giants, but I am the one who makes the giant fall so that you may pass safely. For it is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8, I know your deeds. See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. See how deeply I know you. You have little strength, you are exhausted from fighting against currents that seem much stronger than you. But it is precisely in your weakness that my power manifests itself in all its glory. This door I am opening now leads not only to a temporary solution, it leads to a place of prophetic destiny. There your past of humiliation and doors slammed in your face is left behind, and the brightness of my face illuminates your new path, where the grass is green and the waters are still. But I have not yet shown you what awaits you just beyond the first step you will take. There is a surprise I have prepared for the coming days, something so specific that you will know, without a shadow of a doubt, that it was I who made it. If you believe that I am the one who opens paths where before there were only walls, demonstrate your faith by touching the sign that you are hearing my voice, and share this promise with a friend who also feels trapped by life's circumstances. Tell me, in the secret of your soul, what is the closed door that has most robbed you of your peace in recent weeks, and which do you choose to surrender now under my dominion? Write in the comments the seal of your new season. Declaring your victory, open door. Don't get distracted and don't leave now, for the victory I am preparing before your greatest fears is something your eyes have never seen, and there is a public honor that is about to erase decades of shame and suffering silence. You spent a long time hiding in the shadows, didn't you? I saw every time you entered through the back, head down, trying not to be noticed, feeling that uncomfortable heat rise up your neck when you perceived the judgmental glances or the whispers that ceased as soon as you approached. Those were years of painful silence, a humiliation that seemed to have become your second skin. I saw the cold sweat on the palms of your hands that day. You had to face the one who hurt you, and your voice simply wouldn't come out. You felt small, forgotten, as if your dignity had been ripped away and thrown to the wind. But listen carefully to what I tell you now. While the silence of your room is filled with my glory, the time for hiding is over. I did not bring you to this desert so that you would die of thirst, but so that you might see that the water I give is the only one that truly quenches thirst. Those who pointed the finger, who mocked your faith, and who celebrated your downfall in secret, will be the same ones who will have to witness your ascension. I am preparing a banquet, and your place is at the head of the table that I myself have set. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows." Understand the depth of this promise, my beloved. I will not only bless you in the seclusion of your room, I will anoint you publicly. That shame you carried for 10, 20, or 30 years is being replaced by an honor that comes directly from the throne. Where there was scorn, there will be respect. Where there was contempt, there will be admiration. I saw when you thought your fears would be your end, but they are merely the backdrop for my greatest manifestation. The fear of not being enough, the fear of being discovered in your fragility, the fear of the past catching up with you, all of them are being undone now. I am raising you up as a trophy of my grace. People will look at you and no longer see the woman who was abandoned or the woman who suffered injustice. They will see the woman whom God sustained. They will ask, how did she manage to rise with such strength? And your own life will be the silent and powerful answer. But don't think the journey ends with this feast. There is one last piece of this spiritual puzzle, a golden key that I mentioned at the beginning of our meeting, and that is about to be revealed. If you know what I will give you in the next few minutes, your heart will not only rest, it will overflow in a way you have never experienced. What I have to whisper to you now will change your tomorrow even before the sun rises. If you feel that the time of your humiliation has come to an end, and that my honor is reaching you today, touch the sign that you recognize me as your defender, and share this word of authority with someone who also needs to have their head lifted up by the Father. Tell me, in the depths of your truth, what is the situation in your life that has caused you the most shame and that you are ready to see God transform into public honor today? Write in the comments our final declaration of victory. My honor. Wait just a moment longer, my daughter, for what I will tell you in our last moment together will seal your destiny and release upon you the strength necessary to face any giant that still dares to rise in your path. My beloved daughter, I feel your soul breathing more lightly now, as if 100-kilogram burden had been lifted from your shoulders at this very moment. We have journeyed a sacred path in these last few minutes, delving into the depths of your pain to emerge into the light of my hope. I saw your heart tighten upon hearing about the open door, and your tears of relief flow as you realized I never left you alone in those dawns of utter solitude. This encounter was a balm for your wounds and a compass for your weary feet, which now find firm ground to walk on. Remember what I told you as soon as we began, that in the end I would whisper a phrase to your heart that would be like a master key, capable of unlocking any remaining bolt of fear or doubt. That hour has arrived. The revelation that heaven releases upon you today is the certainty that your fragility is the stage where my majesty manifests itself in its greatest glory. You no longer need to fear tomorrow, nor the voices that say you will not be able to withstand the pressure of the days. The prophetic phrase I promised you, which should now become your daily hymn, your armor, and your lullaby, is this: I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Write it now in the comments as an act of possession and unwavering faith, sealing this divine encounter. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. By writing, you are declaring to the spiritual world that your strength does not come from your own ability, but from the living God who loves you with eternal love. Let these words echo in every corner of your house, banishing all shadows of despair and bringing the light of my victory to the center of your living room. Do not stop listening to me. There is still so much I wish to reveal to you, secrets that can only be understood in intimacy and silence. Continue immersed in my voice through the other messages I have prepared for you in our special list of prayers and revelations. Each one of these moments is a preordained encounter, a fatherly embrace that you cannot and must not miss. Feel my peace sealing this moment and rest your spirit, for I am in control of all things and have already written the ending of your story in letters of gold. I am your shield against the arrows of fear. I am the hand that lifts you up when the world pushes you down. Sleep in my lap, for your miracle already has a name and a time to arrive.